Hey guys, welcome on in. Kyrios here, and today I want to give you a big tip. Big tip! Well, honestly, it's not that big of a tip. You probably already figured it out. But I want to talk about a little bit of your optimization of the research and what you really should be spending your energy on. And then I'll show you a little bit of the CN just in case we get Titan gear. So let's go ahead and just talk through it. This should be pretty sweet. If you guys can't hit that like and subscribe, let's get started. All right, guys, welcome on in. Now, I am over here on my main account. We'll go over to my CN account in just a second just to solidify what I'm talking about. But you've probably been progressing your gear, especially your eyepiece, your engine, your exoskeleton, and your micro reactor. And if you've been a day one player, you should now be able to get these a lot easier considering they're in the space-time store, or with OOW and Void Abyss getting a little bit easier to get these micro reactors. Now, you probably have not gotten the stats that you want, so you may still be fishing some stats, but you may not want to be fishing stats either, because you'll be able to get this gear easier and easier as the patches go on. But what you won't be able to get easier and easier is leveling them with the amount of boosters it takes. Now, you might be a little hard capped on your modules. Where am I at? Now, I bought some packages, obviously, that had modules in them, so I'm a little overloaded on modules, but you might be struggling on that. But you should be leveling up your micro reactor, everything like that, almost equally. And the problem you're going to run into is boosters. And that's a good problem to have, is they have more boosters than modules, because they should make it easier later on. So let's go ahead and go into what I'm talking about. If we go into our investigations, there's going to be a great way to get boosters here. And I'm just going to cut right to the chase. You guys should really be focusing on this ocean ecology portion, especially the bottom row. Now, it is such a pain to be able to farm all this. I'm going to show you guys where to farm my favorite spots to farm every single last one of these to do it pretty quickly. But the reason why I say that is you really want to get to the secret pool measurements. And the reason why that is that every 5 energy will give you 5 boosters. And this is repeatable. Repeatable. Absolutely amazing. Now, there's a lot of good stuff in here as well, and you should probably clear it out, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what I want to tell you is that this is pretty easy to farm. For you to get a week's worth of turn-ins, which is about 35 energy, which only takes what? That's like 7, so that's like 14 of these, 14 of these, 14 electric storage sacks, ink sacks, all that goodness, poison sacks. I'm going to show you my favorite places to do that. So hit the chapters below after I finish talking. I'll put that at the end of the video so you guys can see my favorite locations. But just quickly, I do want to talk about is that there is a lot of other good stuff here too as well, especially if you need some shards for some eyepieces, or if you need some combat engines. Like, go ahead and clear that out. But you should really clear this one out first, just for when you don't have time to go collect the rest of this other stuff. You can dump it here, because having boosters is better than having nothing. And don't be wasting your energy because you're wasting boosters. Imagine that we're on patch 2.4 or 2.5, 2.6 for the next 8 weeks. That's like 300 boosters almost. My math is off on that. Now, the one I do want to point out is that you may want to go down this path a little bit till you get to Scylla and Habra. And let me flip on over and tell you why. All right, guys, we're over on my CN account. Now, I've been very lazy about doing research on my CN account, because I've just been super lazy and I can really only focus one account. But one thing I do want to point out is that on that same monitoring board that we were talking about, is you can see that Scylla, you can see that Habra, but you can see this new one right here that came out with 2.5. Now, this is dependent on if we get Titan gear or not. So I would just have materials ready to go to get up there, because farming this material specifically is going to be very good for your Titan gear. Now, you'll have a few other ones as well down here. But you'll get these from just doing bosses and stuff like that. So I would just lightly do those ones. And the reason why I'm suggesting that one is because if you go to your gear, 2 of the best pieces of gear to do Titan first, just in case we get there, and I'll do a whole video on Titan, is actually going to be your combat engines that takes this material right here, because your combat engine is going to give you some really good stats. You can see that fire stat, that frost stat, my electricity stat, all percentages looking pretty good. But then it's also going to allow you to do the goggles as well, which is also a really good one to level. Probably not as much as the combat engine. I would level that one first, but being able to level up your crit some more with some more attack and all that goodness is a really good piece to level. All right, I'm going to speed run and tell you exactly where to get all these things for the bottom level. Let's start with the cutlers. The cutlers are very easy to get. To get the cutler bone and to get the squid meat is all going to be right here. Go to the third level. Go right in the middle where you come down from the hole from above, which will be another area where we do farm. And you'll see all these cutlers right here. There's actually cutlers spread all around this water. You can see them all around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could probably see about 9. There's a couple more as you float up there as well. So this is a really good spot to get this. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this one's going to be a little confusing because I'm going to cover a bunch of them right here. This is the best spot to farm a ton of things. I'm going to show you where to get the conch meat, the hard shells, the dragon turtles, my favorite spot for that, and the poison sacks. So you're going to find every single one of those items starting at the deep spring isle, which is essentially right here in the beginning, right? You jump on down and you're going to make a path that goes towards this teleporter, but you're not going to go down that hole like you did in the intro. You're going to cut off to the side until you go all the way up here into this general area. I'll try and draw a circle on my screen, but let's go ahead and go through it. One, you're going to find a lot of puffer fish. Those puffer fish are going to be great because those are the ones that give you those poison sacks. You're going to see a lot of conch on the ground as well. So go ahead and just start picking that up. You're going to be picking up shells on top of that. More shells. Go ahead and pick up these squids because why not, right? And then the other thing is that you are going to see you got that puffer fish. We got that poison sack. But then we are going to have a lot of electric eels on top of that. So you definitely want to pick up those electric eels just to be able to get some electric sacks on top of that. So that's going to give you a good amount. You might as well collect everything that you can. But what I like to do is then you're going to have these enemies right here. And there's going to be a ton of them. So go ahead and take down any snail you see in order to get that meat. We're going to have, you might as well take these down as well. You see any of these jellyfish, you're going to need them for later anyways. They're just going to give you some more tentacles. So pick up all those snails that you see. And then instead of dropping into this hole like you would, take a hard left. By the way, collect all this, right? You're going to see it all on the ground, everything like that. But once you take a hard left here, you're going to see, look at that, all these shells. You're going to see more shrimp snails for getting those meats. And then you're going to see a ton. You go ahead and pick up everything, right? That's what you want to do. But take this route to this circle right here. As you start to go this way, you're going to see all those. You can see, look at that. So you have all those meat right there that you can pick up. You're going to have some electric fish start to spawn over here unless someone's taking it. This is a great spot for electric fish. Let me see if I can find some real quick. There's some electric fish, but you're going to see a ton of them around. So go ahead and collect all those electric fish as well. As we head to this little circle path right here, you're going to see more meat on the ground. This is my favorite dragon nest. You can go ahead and take down all these dragons for the meat. Go ahead and do that. And then you could pick up all these eggs on the ground. This is one of the best spots to get meat, turtle horns, turtle spines, and dragon eggs. You're going to get every single one. So as you make these rounds, just keep circling past this as this respawns. One of my favorite spots to do that. You have more electric eels right there. And then right here, right next to the dragon nest that we had, you're going to have the puffer fish island. You're going to see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more electric eels, more puffer fish right over here. So this is one of the best spots to get, especially poison sacks and everything like that. All right, cool. That covered our dragon turtles. That covered our dragon turtles. That covered our poison sacks that you are going to need for later on the final one. It did cover the snails. It did cover the hard shells. Now we have to go after the snouts. Let me show you my favorite spot to farm snouts. All right, so you're going to want to teleport to inners. And then you're going to want to go ahead all the way down like you were in the story mission, like you're heading to the magma area. Go ahead and grab all those jellyfish as well because you're going to need them for, you need everything, right? So as you're passing by, go ahead and grab it. But we're on a mission, so we're going to move pretty quick here. All right, cool. Now we're the snail village. You're going to see all these snails right here. Now, big tip, make sure you do have a physical weapon. Only attack snails with physical weapons, so you can make sure that you get every single item that you can off there. You're gonna see a bunch of snails right here. As we go ahead and head on down, you're gonna see there's some more snails right there. There's some more snails, right? I see a few there, right there. Some electric eels on top of it. More snails on top of that. Go ahead and take those down. Take all of these down. Then when you make it to right about here, by the time you've finished taking them all down, you're going to want to go all the way back to the top and just rinse and repeat. Now, what I like to do is I like to take these G-Wings down as well, because you might as well take them down because these are a pain in the butt to farm on top of that. All right, cool. So we talked about the cuddles. We talked about the snails. We've talked about the other snails on where to get those. We talked about where to get electric sacks, which you're going to get them from snails as well. We've talked about neon materials you're going to pick up from pretty much all those jellyfish that we just passed by. So you might as well get the jellyfish on top of that. So you're going to get those. We talked about the poison sacks. We haven't talked about tentacles. We've talked about dragon eggs, but now we're going to talk about every item you need here. So those hard shells you're going to get from essentially taking down those snouts anyways. So make sure you're using a physical weapon. You're going to pick up those hard snails. We already talked about to get that. You know where to get the poison sacks from. You know where to get the ink from, which are from the cuttlefish. You know where to get these electric sacks on top of that. The only one that you need to farm now, besides those tusks, because you know where to get those from snouts as well, is the tentacles. So let me show you my favorite spot for the tentacles. All right, so now we're at the tentacles, and you're going to get them from these weird dome dudes right here. These are kind of a pain. They have a very, very bad drop rate. But you're going to find them in this section, essentially this side of the magma area. So make sure you go on this side, and then you're just going to float around. They're usually on this mountain pass side, so go ahead and do a 180 on that. And then as you come on down, there should be more as you skate around these areas. It looks like someone else is farming it, but there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a bunch of them. So this general area is going to have them. They're going to have the jellyfish you need as well, and they're going to have more G-Wings, so you might as well take those down as well. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Hopefully this helps you out. Make sure that you are farming this at least once a week. You'll get enough materials if you just farm for about an hour, and then that'll make it so you can log on, use your energy, peace out, and you don't have to worry about the other stuff right now. And at least you're getting boosters, and you're not missing the opportunity to get boosters. So let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully this helped you out. You may have already known this. I do appreciate you guys. Take it easy, and fist bump from me to you.